How are you doing? How are you doing? Who is that? Lewis? Nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
good to meet you, brother. Good to meet you.
You too. Hey, Diva, and of course Sue in the house.
How you doing? Welcome to Ability MKE Now. My name is Sue Roscoff, and here on Ability MKE Now, we are a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities, and here at Ability MKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability has a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know or people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at Ability MKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. I am so excited to have the crew on here tonight that we have. We are, we have some old friends, quote unquote, old friends coming back to join us, and a wonderful new friend of the show coming in for the first time. I am so excited for this evening. I'm going to start out by bringing in our new friend first, and then I will follow with, as I say, our old friends. Lewis Harrison is an amazing individual. I've just had the pleasure of meeting recently here, and I am so excited to have him join and share a little more about his amazing background. I've learned all sorts of fun things already, and I'm sure you're going to love all these things as much as I have, and more to come here. So, Lewis, welcome. So glad you're here joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and a little of your background. Give us a little snippet here.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I was an outlier. I got bullied. I got kicked out of 20 schools. They thought I was autistic or on the spectrum or just weird or bizarre or antisocial. Or I was a mess. I was disabled emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever. And then when I was about 22 years old, I got brought into a committee meeting at the fifth college I attended, and I remember the guy going, "Huh, he's not on the spectrum. He's a savant. He's a high functioning savant." So I went from being this moron, retarded, whatever kid, all those politically incorrect terms, to, oh my God, he's a savant, a high functioning savant. And so I've gone from there to write and publish 40 books with mainstream publishers, not self-published. I'm nothing against that. And I had a radio show on National Public Radio for many years, a decade. And I married someone who was as strange as me. And we've been married for 25 years. You know the old saying, you're happily married when you could put up with someone else's crap and they could put up with yours. And if you're a guy, you just say, yes, dear. So that's it. And occasionally I call a mentor up and ask if I'm mentally ill, and he says, "No, you're just strange." So there you go. That's my story. And what do I do is I teach people to live life like it's a game, and I mean that literally. I don't mean that philosophically. What's your desired outcome? What are your skills? What are your weaknesses? What is your strategy? And what does winning look like to you? And when you figure out what that is, it doesn't matter if they think you're schizophrenic, you have intrusive voices, you got one leg, one arm, a half a head, you're blind, you can't hear. It don't matter. As long as you know what your desired outcome is, then manifestation takes place automatically. So that's a little short version of me.
Awesome. I love the game analogy. I don't know if analogy is really the right word here, but the idea of looking at it like a game that actually hits home. We have some friends that we actually have over the years often get together and play games, and it is fun when you know the rules, when you know the desired outcome of how to win the game. It makes all the difference. If you don't know the rules and you're struggling because you missed something along the way, everybody else knows the rules and you missed one, and you can't get very far along along that game board if you're not following those rules. So to be able to put it in that context.
I have a joke, and it's not that funny. If you know what the rules are and you don't like them, but you're a visionary, this is the new rule. If you can't beat them, join them, and then conquer yourself, and you've conquered them.
Excellent.
So sometimes you have to make up the rules, and if you can get away with that, then you get to win. If you're a good, smart, visionary person and you make up the rules, I'm not judging anybody, then you become, Gandhi. And if you're not so, I'm not being political, you become Trump. He makes up the rules, you know. So he makes a rule that you can make fun of disabled people from the stage and get away with it. That's his rule, and he got away with it. So game theory is, it's won 20 Nobel Prizes, by the way. I'm not being like a philosopher here. If you saw the movie A Beautiful Mind or Oppenheimer, these are all game theory people. Game theory has won 20 Nobel Prizes.
Amazing. Well, a lot of people see a lot in it. When you see that kind of backing of a concept, obviously there's a lot there.
Yes.
So appreciate you bringing that idea here. I know we have other friends that are joining us here. I want to bring them into this conversation as well, so we can all be kind of bouncing ideas and questions. And I think actually, Alan, if I can bring you on in here first. Alan Holmes is a longtime friend of our show here. If you want to come on in and give a quick intro, remind everybody, who are you? So glad to see you, my friend.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, first of all, from Southern California, not sure where you are hailing from, Lewis Harrison, but I want to say welcome to the AbilityMKE Now. I was taking about a bunch of notes because you talk about strange, living in your own lane. That is what I do. I call myself a master connector, specializing in connecting business owners, whether they're home-based or storefront, entrepreneurs, the everyday consumer. In short, I call myself a human search engine. And now I am a true student, a savant of Lewis Harrison, because what you just put out there, my goodness, I'm not going to even try to comment, because you have just put together what the ability, the disability, the mental health, my wife has mental health or mental wellness, paranoid, schizophrenic, those are terms and terminologies, but this young lady has kept me. For example, she said, don't you have a show to go to? Sue's waiting for you. Now, what I didn't know is Lewis Harris is waiting in the wing. So, Harrison, I want to make sure I get it right, but thank you so much for allowing me. And the ladies that we have on here, I saw Diva and Lee, they're about to come out. I see we're a brother from another. We both have the same barber. So, Sue, back to you. Thank you for allowing me to shout out and just say hello, hello, hello.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Alan. Always glad to have you with us. We also have our favorite diva with us this evening as well. Miss Denise Vargas is coming on in here with Live Creatively. So, Diva, come on in and say hello and remind us all about who you are.
Hello. Yes, I love being here. Hello, Milwaukee, all the way from New York. Love it when we can be on the radio and on YouTube and everywhere all at the same time. So I am a lifestyle strategist, and I help women become independent and empowered and really live the lifestyle that they've always dreamt of. Help them with their entrepreneurship and wellness journey with a suite of tools that I have. I even help creators really get their word out there in multiple languages. So yeah, we do a bunch of stuff here, and Lee's probably gonna tell us even more about that fun stuff that we do. We work together in many things, and as we mentioned before, we have been collaborating with many of us here for a while now. And Lewis, I love that you play So I definitely want to get together with you, see how we can bring up a new game.
Great. You know, it's
Awesome.
funny, because Alan said something interesting, and my wife and I were just watching a movie the other night. I forgot the name, but it was we laughed at the end because someone said to a woman who has mental challenges, "What's the difference between a schizophrenic and a paranoid schizophrenic?" And she said, a schizophrenic with a schizophrenic, you're afraid that they're going to hurt you, and a paranoid schizophrenic is afraid you're going to hurt them. And we couldn't stop laughing when we heard that. So I figured I'd just share that with you.
Excellent. All right. Well, we do have one more friend here that I can bring on in and say hello and join in. So Miss Lee Karauka is here with us as well. Come on and say hello. So glad you could join us.
Aloha, guys. Isn't it amazing that we are like so well over the world? Because I am here in Hawaii. You're in, there's Diva in New York. Harrison, where are you? Mr. Lewis, where are you from?
I am a world traveler. Right now, I am in South Korea.
Okay, Korea. Whoo.
Wow, we really are worldwide today. I'm loving this.
Yes. Well, as Diva had said, there's actually a couple of things. I don't call it work. I call it that we go play. Let's go play and make new friends and share our business tools that's in our toolbox to help them expand their business. So the Great Discovery is a great, great platform for coaches, teachers, because there is a difference between a coach and a teacher. A very slim difference, but it's there. So coaches can go on there and coach somebody in a private room. A teacher can go in and upload their lessons. They can do a video lesson. So I'm actually working on my free course. Hopefully it'll be up by the end of the week. But anyway, I am Lee Karaoka. I am also a healer. I send out energy when you need it. You just need to be open to receiving it. So with that, mahalo, Sue, because you're always there, supporting, our community. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you
mahalo
so much.
plenty.
You guys are amazing. So Louis, I want to bring you back in here with the concept of life being a game. Tell us a little bit more. Like, when you're working with people, tell us more.
Well, Sue, let's make it real. Let's use you as an example without getting too personal.
Sounds good.
So what is your intention? And I want to make it real, so it's not just I'm reading off a script. So Sue, what is your intention in life?
Ooh, that is a great question. I'm trying to think how to be concise with it. Because I've got multiple things that I have going on. I love
whatever your intention is, to eat lunch, whatever your intention is. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be Eckhart Tolle or Deepak Chopra. What's your intention?
I would love to have everybody having a chance to enjoy the sports that I love with water skiing, whether it's...
Got it. Great. That's your intention. Now, what's your desired outcome?
Everyone on skis or on a sit ski or some way, some form, enjoying the sport.
The name of the game is getting as many, you can't do everyone. That's not a physical possibility. So within your strengths, and if you collaborate, you get Dave on and Lee on and Alan on and me on, and we collaborate on getting as many people skiing as possible. Water skiing, downhill skiing. I can even ask, does that include snowboarding, let's say? And you say, yes, it is.
Of course it does.
So now manifestation happens automatically. We're going to get a little spiritual here, and I'm going to keep this to less than 3 minutes, I promise. When you're ready, willing, and able, your intention's there, your desired outcome is there, all manner of unforeseen events and circumstances arise to enable you to fulfill your vision. I'm not going to repeat that again here, but it's long. So essentially, that's the game. The game is to win. It doesn't mean other people have to lose if you win, but the game is to win. So then we go, okay, how do we strategize? We get sponsors. We get companies that make skiing equipment sponsor your show. We get lists of people who are skiers to watch your show. That's all the strategy of the game. So the same conversation you and I are having right now, I could have with Dava, I could have with Lee, I could have with Alan. You know, what is your desired outcome? What is your intention? Now let's do strategies. And you're going to run into obstacles. There's always obstacles. So I only had 20 minutes notice to do this show. And I was on something else. And somebody literally put up, who's free to do a radio show in an hour? And I had something else to do. I was doing something else. I was on another podcast. And I decided that this was more productive for me in the moment than the other one. So I just said, I'll do it. So abundance is having the freedom to strategize at any moment to change. That's what game-based thinking is.
Excellent. Well, and I truly do appreciate you joining us here tonight and being able to share these pieces with us. Before I forget, I do want to circle back around. I know you do have a newsletter that people can find out more information. Go ahead and let us know where can you go to get on.
It's free. I write 3 times a week on something called Substack. President Obama writes on Substack, and it's called asklewis.substack.com. It's absolutely free, and you can sign up, subscribe there, and you'll get 3 newsletters per week from me about the game and how to win the game of life.
Awesome. And I just went there and did that myself. So it's super easy to go asklewis.substack,
SUBST.com. And it's
Yep.
Lewis, Lewis.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
absolutely, because I'm looking forward to catching content on there and learning more as we go. Because like I said, this is the first we've had a chance to connect, and you actually met, I believe you met Emily earlier today on a networking group that Misty Henkel leads. I know she was a guest on here a couple months back. And do you do that a lot? Do you go out? Is that your best way to connect with people these days?
I'm going to tell you, you're asking me a question, so I'm not talking too long. It's actually part of my game strategy. I belong to a group on Tuesday night called the Serving Circle, to give them a shout out. And someone from that group told me about Misty's group. And I realized that most people are talking about what they have to sell. Nothing bad about that. You know, I do chakra balancing, I do this, I do that. So my take is the opposite. Let me collaborate with you and get your stuff out there. So that's what I do. I say to people, send me your stuff, and I'll make sure 3,000, Alan or Lee or Dava, you send me 1,000-word. I'm not selling anything. You send me 1,000-word article with a link, I'll publish it. And I got 3,000 followers. So 3,000 people will see your thing. And I'm not generous. I do it for a reason, because I want you to tell your followers, hey, I just posted an article on Lewis's site, so I'll get more people reading my stuff. So that's a strategy. And I've got to tell you, my next step, because of your show, by the way, my next step is to do at least one of those groups every night for 1 hour. Get on some group where I can ask people to collaborate with. Maybe I'll be doing one of these every night, with somebody. So.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, and I just want to circle around here. Anybody have any questions that feel free to just pop your hand up here so I know if you guys have something too. Ellen, go for it.
Oh my goodness. First of all, Lewis, were you in my dreams last night? My goodness. I love that. I love that collaboration. That's what I do. Anybody knows that's what I do. I tell people I market in reverse. They're like, what are you talking about? You put out to the universe what your expected intentions, and it will come back tenfold. You have the incredible Sue. You have Diva. You have the great discovery with Miss Lee. All this, I am part of many of those, by the way. However, on this show, your manifestation and your teaching and us being the students that we are has allowed us to be blessed by greatness, my brother.
Thank you.
From the world. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for about it. I'm going to pass it out because I know that Lee and Diva is out there waiting to step up to the mic with their brilliant wisdom of geniusness.
Yeah. And Alan, just a gift to you. One of my mentors, you may not know who he is, but you'll wiki him. One of my mentors when I was a child was a man named Pegleg Bates. And most people do not know who Pegleg Bates was. But if you Google him, your head will start to spin automatically. Just so you know, and I'm not bringing it up for any reason, how I made when I was a child, and I'll keep this to 30 seconds or less. I actually have a book I'm finishing, and the name of the book is I Was Raised by Black People. That's the name of the book. And my father made his living selling home furnishings to Black churches in the 1950s in Harlem. So I spent 4 days a week in my father's car in Harlem, going to churches on Sunday morning. So that's just a little more of my history. I have an interesting history. I grew up in the South Bronx, but let me pass the mic back to Sue and Dava and Lee. I just want to share that with you. I thought you might dig it. So.
Well, I appreciate it. I tell you, brother, from another, we use the same barber. Go ahead, Lee. I'm sorry.
I love it. Well, yeah, I wanted to ask and see, Lee, did you have any questions, any thoughts you want to share in here?
You know, my mind is just so tired listening to Lewis and Alan going back and forth with this bantering. And I had met Lewis, you know, at Misty Hinkle's networking event. I kind of I caught the tail end about something about you gave away all your money or something to that effect.
Yes.
I didn't hear the beginning part of it. I heard the ending of it, and I'm like, oh, you go, guy.
I'll keep that very short. I was very, very, very wealthy. I worked for the President of the United States. I worked for Michael Moore, and I was like a Shark Tank kind of guy. And I decided I was teaching Zen for many, many years. I've been to Hawaii 7 times. Kauai, Big Island, Molokai, Niha, all of them. And my wife and I decided we wanted to live like monks by choice. So I gave all my money away. And this is what I do now, is I actually give people money. So not my money. I have no money. So if you had a business idea, you personally, for great discovery, and you thought you can get it through Shark Tank, that kind of a thing, you'd come to me and say, I need a couple $1 million. And then I'd depress you. I'd ask you annoying questions you couldn't answer, ask you for your risk analysis, and then, so I help people prepare themselves for the kind of wealth they see they want so that they can become philanthropists. That's what you missed in that particular meeting. That wasn't bad, right? 20 seconds.
That's awesome.
Thank you for educating me, because
I
didn't know what you did.
I do nothing. I meditate and I do radio shows and say yes, dear, to my wife.
Well, that's the smart part of everything. We are the ones that wear the pants in the family, let me tell you.
Hey, I wear the pants in my family, and my wife gives me permission to wear the pants in my family.
Okay, I
yes,
like
sir,
that one
yes,
too.
Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. we follow the same mantra. Yes, ma'am. And ladies are all 25 and 20 to 25.
Oh, guys are making me laugh, but I'm getting my word.
So, and Diva, I want to give you a chance here too. Where are you at, hon? What thoughts just come to the surface?
I just am really getting this super playful vibe from Lewis. Y'all know me. I like to play. I love having fun. Happiness is in my DNA. I am not a woe is me kind of a person. I always find the fun in life, the positivity, and the creativity. So, yep, like I said, I'm happy I came out to play with you and looking forward to more playtime.
Excellent.
When I was president of the National, you may not know it, or you may know it as the National Speakers Association, is the premier association of speakers in the world. And I was president of the New York chapter. And there was a group in, I'm not comparing disabled people now. There was a, who's more disabled, but there was a group in the association. And to get into their group, you either have to have been shot in the head in a plane and thrown on the tarmac, or have no arms and no legs, or be missing half a head. Whatever, you had to be like, you had to apply to get into their group of disabled people. And what made them so special was they made about $10,000 a day getting on a stage, talking or signing their disability. So rather than having someone sign for them, they would get $5,000 a day to sign and have another person say what they were saying. And I was part of that. I used to hang out with them for dinner with Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul, wrote the introduction to one of my books. And that was a wild bunch, boy, when they partied, no arms, no legs, bullets in the head. They were talking about just real disability, not that just ADHD nonsense. They would ridicule people who just had ADHD. So there you go.
Well, you have a unique perspective. So you said you grew up with, there's a lot of misunderstanding about who you were, and how, when you look back on that, what do you see? What lessons can you share?
This is the lesson, and you're not going to see it coming. You're thinking of something motivational, but it's better than that. When I was in high school and was such a loser, and there were 500 kids in my graduating class, and I was in love, madly in love with 4 of the girls in that class, I'm coaching 3 of them now.
That's awesome.
They reached out to me and said, "Hi, my name is Susie Smith." And I said, "Susie, did you go to Taft High School in the Bronx in 1968? How would you know that? Are you a psychic?" I was one of those guys in the stands staring at you for 4 years. So there you go. I get to coach the girls I was in love with. My wife thinks it's hysterical.
It's a piece of karma kind of coming back around.
And one of them said to the other 2, I looked him up in the yearbook. He's cute. I would have gone out with him if he asked me. That's what they told me. That wiped out 20 years of therapy and inner child work right there, coaching the girls I was in love with in high school. That's the flashback, and for people who are struggling to get real here, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, you're disabled and struggling, you need 4 things. And you might get all 4 of them here. You need someone to push you up. You need someone to pull you up. And you need someone on each side of your angel wings to keep you from falling over. It will be okay. You're going to win. You're going to be inspired, motivated, and change the world. And you just have to be patient and have love and kindness. And that's my mantra. Love, kindness, compassion, empathy, wisdom, goodness, appreciation of beauty, grace, gratitude, patience, and surrender. It's my mantra.
Awesome. So much can be learned by that. I mean, everybody needs to go back and replay that over and over. Because we all have different backgrounds. We always talk on here about how we all have strengths. Sometimes it takes a moment to really sit back and say, wait, what really are my strengths? We all have different abilities. We all have pieces that we bring to the table, and we got to utilize them the best way we can. No matter what that is, for everyone, it's different. So what a great group. I look around and I'm so blessed to be in this room here with Alan, with Lee, with Diva, and Lewis. So grateful that you could join us tonight, be part of our crew, and to share you with all of us and all those that are joining us here. This is amazing. I'm forever grateful. And you guys always know you're welcome to come back anytime and join us and be able to participate here with AbilityMKE Now. My name again is Sue Roskoff, and for Kurt, me, for all of us here, and